Shall I compare thee to anxiety? Thou art more stressed and more paranoid. Rough times do shake that darling brain of yours, and happiness hath all too short a date. Hi, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren, the film student extraordinaire, and today we're talking about anxiety, baby, because I picked up my anxiety meds earlier today, and I just wanted to talk about it.
I was kissing you with my eyes open, but you said keep them closed and be in the moment.
I do want to add a trigger warning. I will be talking about eating disorders in this video, as well as anxiety and mental disorders. So if that is going to be upsetting for you, please do not watch this video. Now, I have some notes on my computer, so if I'm looking down, it's because I want to make sure I'm getting definitions right and things that I specified earlier, because this is not like the most delicate topic I've ever spoken about, but it is something that I want to make sure I'm conveying the way I want to. So yeah, if that's gonna bother you that I'm looking down, then just listen to the video and don't look at it. Basically, I've been thinking about why anxiety manifests and how it manifests in myself and what my symptoms are. But before I get into the symptoms, let me read off a couple definitions. So, according to the Mayo Clinic, anxiety can be normal in stressful situations such as public speaking or taking a test. Anxiety is only an indicator of an underlying disease when feelings become excessive, all-consuming, and interfere with daily living. So for a very long time, I just accepted that I had some kind of, like, I would get anxiety, definitely around tests. I still have testing anxiety, and I had like other issues. Like I've always had trouble sleeping. I've had some eating issues with my disordered eating, but I didn't really lump them together. And it wasn't until college when I was speaking to a therapist, and they really were asking me a lot of certain questions, and they sent me to a psychiatrist, that someone kind of put some dots together for me. So I have been diagnosed with Generalized Anxiety Disorder, or GAD. So I'm going to read another definition for you. The Mayo Clinic defines GAD as severe ongoing anxiety that interferes with daily activities. Generalized anxiety disorder can occur at any age. The condition has symptoms similar to panic disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, and other types of anxiety. These symptoms include constant worry, restlessness, and trouble with concentration. Treatment may include counseling and medications such as antidepressants. Now, I definitely have been in counseling. I am currently in the process of getting a new counselor to get into a group therapy at school, because that has been very helpful for me. I am on SSRIs, which are serotonin reuptake indicators. I should have SSRI, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. So these, like, I definitely still get anxiety for sure, but it's just like kind of lower. So for example, like the thing that I tell the most people is I can nap now for the first time in my entire life since being on medication. Like I could have been really tired, but I just could not nap because my brain would not shut off. I'm not a good napper. I cannot nap for very long, but it can happen. Additionally, I no longer feel like I overstudy for exams. I definitely study a lot, and I still probably study too much, but I used to just like grind myself to the bone, basically. Like I was just going and going and going, and now I get to where I actually feel like I did enough, which I never would have felt before. So I want to talk about my personal symptoms, and maybe this is a little too personal of a video, but I just feel like the term anxiety is thrown around a ton, and including by myself. Like I'm not innocent of this. But we don't actually often talk about what that really means, how we can tell, and how serious some of these symptoms are that other people may brush off as being not important or anything like that. I was looking at WebMD and more of the Mayo Clinic for these like categorical symptoms that count as symptoms for GAD. So there are other things that I probably do and have that I'm not listing here right now, but I may add them like when I'm editing or something else. So first one is lightheadedness. Now, I usually think of those more as being dizzy, but sometimes like I will like get up, and I know some people say it's when you get up too fast, but I don't even know sometimes it's too fast and you like stand up and you like can't see, like there's like just like stars everywhere, or I'll be like living my life and all of a sudden I need to like grab a wall or like be like, whoa, like I just need to steady myself. So I definitely count it as a symptom because I do experience that. Then there's restlessness. I am a fidgeter. Maybe that's obvious in some videos, maybe not. Now, I know this is a little like kind of maybe intersected with my disordered eating because I didn't used to fidget so much until I was fidgeting on purpose, trying to burn calories. But now I don't think about it. Like, it's just kind of been something about me, but like I am not good at sitting still. Hence why a long time I could not nap, and I'm still not good at it. But because I just like can't, like I need to be doing something, I need to be busy. I'm gonna think, wow, I'm like pretty too busy, but I just like, I need to be busy. And I also now need a drink. Ugh. Right. Then there's unwanted thoughts. Now, some people refer to unwanted thoughts. There's like kind of a vague or broad spectrum rather of what an unwanted thought could be. It could be an intrusive thought. It could be like, for example, maybe an unwanted thought that I have is like, I'm just walking on the street today and then maybe I'm like, they're looking at me. And that may seem like everyone thinks like that. But for me, if I start thinking people are looking at me, so it's like everyone's looking at me and I start fixating on it. Like I fixate on things. So it's not only like an unwanted thought, like it doesn't come in and out. It just comes in and just like sits there. Then there's excessive worry. I worry about everything. Like I go down the rabbit holes and I need a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan, like it just keeps going. I'm always thinking, what if, and this can be really hard to talk to people about because like, well, don't worry about it. Like cross that bridge when you come to it. But for me, it's like, no, I'm crossing that bridge now because like in my mind, I am crossing that bridge now. And I need all these scenarios. I need to be prepared. But of course you can't be prepared for everything. And I know that, and that gives me more worry about how I can't be prepared for something. And I just wish that, I think it's, people are starting to realize like saying, oh, like don't worry about it, it's not helpful. And I have said that to people as well, which is like so ironic. But I just hope that eventually we get to a point where like we kind of have taken that out of our language because telling someone not to worry is not helpful. And it doesn't make anyone worry less. And I wish I wasn't, somebody's like, oh, it's good, you're future focused, you're future oriented. But I think there's a difference. Like I definitely am future I definitely am future focused, but I think there should be a better balance between me thinking about the future, caring about the future, and also the fact that I can't live in the present because I'm so busy thinking about the future and worrying about the future and wondering what I can do to prevent a problem that hasn't even occurred yet. And I am really working hard on living in the present, but I'm not there. I don't pretend to be there yet, but hopefully one day I will be. Then I also have difficulty falling asleep and difficulty staying asleep. Now I've had problems with sleep for a very long time. Like since I was a kid, I've had trouble sleeping. I remember I would go and ask like my parents for a cup of water until I realized like I can get my own water. And then I would walk the dog with my dad at night to like tire me out so I could sleep better. And now I take sleep medicine, but I like cannot sleep. Yay. Then being easily startled. I didn't know this was honestly a symptom, but it just like blew my mind honestly when I was researching this because I didn't used to be that jumpy, I don't think, and in middle school I became jumpy, and I thought it was like, I mean, I still think one of my friends at the time, like, it didn't help because he was always, like, jump scaring me, but I am so easily startled now by, like, anything. I mean, the other day, like, my roommate was in the hallway, and I walked out of my room, and I saw him, and I, like, jumped out of my skin. Or, like, my boss over the summer, like, would walk by and be like, hey, Lauren, if I didn't expect her, I would leap out, like, I would freak out. So I'm definitely very easily startled, and I think it's because my brain's always trying to figure things out, and if something comes out of nowhere, my brain goes like, like, oh god, I wasn't foreseeing this, and it kind of like is a self-fulfilling prophecy where then it's like, oh gosh, like how am I supposed to be alert for all these things even more? But you can't be, like you just cannot be. And I know that logically, but it doesn't make it me less jumpy or on edge. The last one that I have here, just on my list here, is trouble swallowing. This was also very interesting for me because I always associated when I have trouble swallowing with my issues with food. So the fact that it's also like related to a common symptom for people with generalized anxiety disorder, it just shows me like how interlocked my mental illnesses really are. And I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people, but I just don't often see so many things where I associate them with two things. Because for me, when I have trouble swallowing, that means I have to have like ice cream or soup or liquids, or I don't eat. I mean, now at this point, I always have like ice cream or something, but before I really decided to kind of rely on ice cream to like supplement my food if I was having trouble swallowing. I just thought it was like I was having trouble with the food itself, and it's interesting that it's the food probably partially and also the anxiety. I can't explain why the swallowing would have to do with anxiety, but I just thought it was very interesting that it was also listed as a common symptom, and it's something that I do deal with on a semi-regular basis. Now, I just want to put out there, like while I'm being open about these things, that my therapist and my psychiatrist have both commented that there's probably a high chance that I do have clinical depression and I have some OCD tendencies. I do not think I have OCD and they don't think I have OCD, but I have some OCD-like tendencies. So that's kind of related to what I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. The main reason that I really wanted to make this video, aside from getting my medication today and just like thinking about it and then doing a little bit of research, because I feel like there's so many influencers and YouTubers and people on social media and in the news generally who talk about self-care and how important self-care is. And I completely think that self-care is totally important. And you hear them talking about going to yoga classes, doing hot baths, buying candles, massages, it's like a nice meal, maybe going on a little shopping spree. And these are all great, like reading books. Like I do all of those things. Well, not really the massages, but like I do those things. But I think there's also kind of there's all this emphasis on what is self-care, and I feel like we don't often look at what maybe is self-not-care. And even beyond that, what are things that, like how, instead of thinking about ways to kind of help yourself and pretend like you're not living with anxiety or something, what are just ways that you realize that you are and ways to accept that you have anxiety? Because I think a lot of times people think accepting that you have a mental illness means like giving into it. And I completely disagree. I don't think when I acknowledge something about me is happening because of my anxiety and I decide to act on it, I don't think that's me giving in to anxiety. For example, this morning, it's super sunny out right now, and the weather said it was sunny in the morning, but there was a chance of rain in the afternoon, and I didn't think I was going to be back this early because I thought I had a meeting, but it got rescheduled. But anyways, so this morning, I put my raincoat in my backpack just in case, and then I was deciding whether or not to bring my umbrella. And I was going to go without the umbrella because I was like, oh, it probably won't rain, and if it does, like I'll have my raincoat, but then I was like, but my raincoat won't protect my computer and my agenda and my books, and I was just going like back and forth in my mind, and I started just worrying about like how I could get soaked, and my battery is about to die. So I'll see if I can finish this story and then I will switch batteries. And I ended up just bringing the umbrella. Now you might say, oh wow, you gave in to like lugging this thing around with you and getting into your fear of it being rainy and like getting wet on all your stuff. But to me, I was like, I was going to be worrying about getting rained on then the rest of the day. So I'd rather just get the umbrella so I can stop worrying about it and stop thinking about it. I don't think it's giving in. I think that's acknowledging something my anxiety has manifested and deciding that I'm just going to accept that I need the umbrella today. And now I'm going to change the battery. Am I in autofocus? Okay. Hopefully this angle is like sort of close. Anyways, I can also just put my notes away, so I'm just gonna bring it back. Now, another example that this is something that's happened to me a lot more, not in my new place yet, but in my old place, because now we have a lock that actually is an auto lock that we got, so it's a smart lock. So basically it like automatically will lock the door again after 10 seconds. And that is very reassuring because I know that it's always gonna be locked, basically. In my old place, we had to lock the door manually. Now, at night, I would be in bed trying to sleep, and all of a sudden I'd be like, did I lock the door? And especially for one semester when I lived pretty much by myself because of COVID and everything going on, / I would be the one who would always lock the door. I would try to sleep, and I would honestly just always, I pretty much always then would have to get up and check to make sure the door was locked. And sometimes it was like later when I suddenly would get panicky about did I lock the door. And I was on the 13th floor, there was a security desk, like I was safe, but I wanted to make sure my door was locked. And I would not be able to sleep until I knew the front door was locked. And you could say that every time I went to check the door was locked, I was giving in to me having to check to see the door was locked. Or if I need to check for my wallet, the fact that I have to stop, make sure I have my wallet, it's like a recurring thing that I'm reinforcing the need to check. But in my mind, I could not sleep if I didn't check to make sure the door was locked. And if I'm going somewhere and I don't have and I'm afraid I don't have my wallet, I can't enjoy anything. If I'm talking to someone, I can't enjoy the conversation until I make sure I have my wallet or whatever it is I'm looking for. And so when I do these things, when I act on what my anxiety is telling me to do, make sure the door is locked, make sure you have your wallet, I'm not giving in so that I will like continue to give in and ruin my mind and let anxiety take over. I'm accepting that anxiety is something I have to live with, and I'm acting on it so that I can move on. And I think that is something we need to talk about a lot more. I know this video is mostly about me and my experiences, but honestly, I can really only talk about me and my experiences. If you want to add like your own experience with anxiety or depression or any other mental illness, please feel free to do that in the comments. But if you don't want to, of course, don't feel pressure to do so. I am trying to be more open about these things because I'm trying to get rid of the stigma around certain mental illnesses, and I'm feeling kind of encouraged because I had my film premiered at the film festival this last weekend, and it was about like therapy, and so I just sort of feel like putting myself out there a bit more. And yeah, if this video was interesting to you or you enjoyed it in any regard, please give it a thumbs up, and it really does help with the algorithm. And consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. I try to post twice a week. Things have been insane, but now that school's starting again, I think I'm getting back in a routine. I will be, as I say, we'll be live streaming tomorrow, but you'll have already seen that because that would have been yesterday. Anywho, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.